Phasmophobia, the early access horror game, has taken Twitch and social media by storm. For those uninitiated, Phasmophobia's goal is simple, though achieving it is a little tricky. You, either alone or with a group of friends, play a ghost hunter investigating a haunting and trying to determine which type of ghost you're dealing with. As you explore the area, you will need to use a variety of tools to gather evidence before the ghost kills you. Aside from the scares, and this, the most horrific thing about Phasmophobia in its current state is the lackluster tutorial. It teaches you the basics for a few investigation tools, but leaves a lot for you to figure out on your own. So with that in mind, let's go over what you need to know about Phasmophobia.
Tell Peter that somebody...
Close the door.
I can hear it! I can hear it!
Behind the desk! Behind the desk!
As I mentioned before, your job is to figure out what kind of ghost you're dealing with. To do that, you need to first identify which part of the building the ghost is haunting, and then you need to find 3 separate pieces of hard evidence to log in your journal. Once you've found 3 clues, you can select the ghost in your journal and GTFO. I like to imagine the Ghostbusters roll through after you catch the ghost, but I'll save that for when I start writing my Phasmophobia fanfiction.
Batman, what happened? Are you okay?
He slimed me.
That's great! Actual physical contact!
In order to find evidence, you need to know how the tools work and how to use them effectively, so let's run through your gear. The EMF reader is one of the most important pieces of tech in your toolkit. Turn it on as you explore the house and monitor the levels on it while clearing rooms. High EMF readings don't necessarily mean danger or high levels of paranormal activity. It simply means that a ghost could be nearby or that you could be in the haunted room. The EMF reader is very useful early on as it can help you pinpoint which room is the source of paranormal activity. If the EMF reader hits level 5, you can log that as evidence in your journal when you have a minute to breathe. The spirit box is one of the creepiest tools in the game, as it often requires you to sit in a room by yourself with the lights off and try to have a conversation with the ghost using your real-world microphone. I recommend saving spirit box duty for the last person in your group that loads in, aka your friend without the SSD. With the spirit box, your goal is to get the ghost to respond to you directly. You can do this by asking questions such as, how old are you, can you speak to me, is there anything with me, and so on. The ghost can respond to your questions in one of 2 ways. It can interact with the environment, like turning off lights or moving objects, or it can respond directly through the spirit box. If you hear it through the spirit box, then you can mark that down as a clue in your journal. If it moves an object, that means that the spirit is nearby, but that doesn't count as a clue you can log in the journal. Alternatively, the spirit box may just say nothing detected, in which case you should try a different room. If you don't get nothing detected but haven't heard a voice, keep talking. Keep in mind that for the spirit box to work, the lights need to be turned off, and some ghosts will only respond to you if you're alone. If you do end up with the spirit box, make sure you're holding down proximity chat when you talk. Technically, the ghost can hear your mic inputs even if you don't push to talk, but I recommend doing it anyway just in case.
I heard it.
I heard it.
On the box.
I consider the video camera a stage 2 item. Since you can only carry 3 tools at once, flashlight included, I'd leave the camera in the van until you've pinpointed the haunted room. Once you know where the paranormal activity originated from, return to the van and grab the video camera, the bigger black camera. Place the camera in a corner of the room that will give you the widest field of view possible. You can hold left click to rotate the camera, right click to turn it on, and F to place it. Don't forget to turn it on before you bail. The last thing you want is to walk all the way back to the van only to find out that you didn't turn on the camera. Oddly enough, in Phasmophobia, the green light means recording and the red means off, so make sure to check. After you've placed the camera, you or a crew member should return to the van and look at the monitor. Left clicking on the in-game mouse will change the cameras, and clicking on the keyboard will toggle night vision. Whoever is monitoring the cameras should be looking for ghost orbs. Ghost orbs look like fireflies that flutter by the camera. If you see an orb, make sure to log it in your journal as a clue. If you don't see one, it's usually good to try another angle just to be thorough. Alternatively, you can purchase head-mounted cameras which don't take up an inventory slot and function similarly to the camera. Like the camera, the ghostwriting book is a stage 2 item. Once you know which room the ghost is camping out in, set up the journal and wait. If writing appears on the book, mark it in your journal. When you have the journal, make sure to press F to place it and not G to throw it down. Technically, the ghost can write in the journal no matter how it's positioned, but I like to keep it facing up so my crew can clearly see the book, and the best way to do this is placing it with F. Apparently, the ghost can even write in the journal while you're holding it, but I haven't witnessed that yet. The Galaxy Brain play here is to set up the journal in the view of your video camera so you can see it from the comfort of the van. The UV flashlight isn't what you're probably thinking. Instead of using it to find mucky business, you'll use it to spot fingerprints. Like the last few gadgets, you can probably leave the UV flashlight in the van during the early stages of the job. Typically, fingerprints don't appear until later. Once there's been a significant amount of paranormal activity, grab the UV flashlight and sweep the affected areas. The best places to find hand and fingerprints are on doors and windows. If you see something, snap a picture for extra cash and mark it in your journal. The thermometer is the only tool that isn't part of your default toolkit. I highly recommend bringing one of these along no matter the job. This is a great tool to use for the initial sweep of the house. If you see the temperature drop below 10, there's a good chance you are in the affected room. If it drops below 0, then you'll want to add freezing temperatures to your journal. If you forget a thermometer, which will almost certainly happen, you can tell if a room is freezing if you can see your breath. Admittedly, the thermometer makes things a bit too easy on smaller maps, as it can be a dead giveaway as to which room is haunted. On bigger maps though, the thermometer can save you a ton of time. While those are the most important tools you use on any given job, there are a handful of other optional tools that you can take with you. These include a crucifix, which can protect you from certain ghosts, smudge sticks, which can calm a ghost, and sound sensors, which can help you pinpoint the ghost's location. While those tools can help you gather evidence, they aren't as straightforward as the tools I listed. If you're new to Phasmophobia, I recommend sticking with the tools I discussed earlier and slowly trying out new ones as you get more comfortable with the basics. It's also worth noting that if you successfully use some of these optional tools, you can make a little extra cash when you finish the job. Now that we've run through some basic equipment, let's get into some best practices for when you're out in the field. First, I highly recommend using in-game voice chat once you and your team have found your footing. Discord is nice when you're starting out, but it makes things a bit too easy and far less terrifying.
Oh my god!
What?
They just ran at me from outside this hallway into this room, and I just got a spirit box.
The game also does some fun things with audio implementation that make the experience more immersive and tense. For in-game communication, use V for proximity chat and B for global chat, courtesy of the handy walkie-talkie. Keep in mind that your walkie-talkie isn't always super reliable though. During high paranormal activity, your signal could get scrambled. If you aren't near your crew, you'll have no idea what could be happening to them. You can check paranormal activity levels from the monitor in your van. Usually it's good to let your team know if there are any spikes. Low amounts of activity could mean flickering lights or moving objects, moderate spikes could mean direct contact with the ghost, and level 10 spikes usually mean the ghost is hunting.
It was this opened for half a second and it closed. Oh! Right here, I can hear him, oh god.
The best thing you can do for them is to pray. If a level 10 spike just occurred and someone's sanity percentage is replaced by a question mark, it means they're dead. And if you're using in-game chat, dead team members can't communicate with you. If you're in the house during a level 10 spike, your flashlight will start to flicker, the front door will lock, and you may see the ghost appear and disappear. If the ghost is weak to crucifixes, you can stop it from hunting by throwing it on the ground or at the ghost. If not, hide in another room, turn off the lights, and stay quiet. Closets do nicely for this. If you're dealing with a shy ghost, you can try using its name as well. Typically, ghosts will get more annoyed the more you say it. Before you head into the house, check the whiteboard in the van to see the ghost's name and if it responds to everyone or just those who are alone. With each paranormal activity you witness, your sanity will drop. You can monitor your sanity in the truck. The lower it goes, the easier it is for a ghost to target you. You can regain your sanity by using sanity pills, which are available to purchase before a job. As you complete jobs, earn money, and level up, you will unlock new maps and gear to test out. Any additional gear you purchase and take into the field can be lost if you die, so be extra careful if you want to hold on to those thermometers and motion sensors. You do get an insurance payout though, so it's not a complete loss. The bigger maps like the high school and asylum may also force you to change up your tactics. The best way to go about these jobs is to split into groups and clear rooms methodically. Study the map in the van before you leave, come up with a game plan, and designate a regroup point for your team. If someone gets lost, you can check their location via the map in the van and guide them to safety using the walkie-talkie. Sanity pills are typically a must on these maps as they usually take much longer than most house jobs. When you find the affected room, leave a glow stick outside the door or have someone make a mental mental note of it on the map in the van. There are also some cases where you won't be able to find a third piece of evidence no matter how hard you try. If you're really struggling, you can check the ghost descriptions in your journal. This isn't always the most accurate way to solve a case, but if you're low on supplies, there's no harm in checking the journal to see if there are any familiar patterns. Whew, there you have it, almost everything you need to know about hunting ghosts and phasmophobia. If there's something I missed, please leave it in the comments below to help out your fellow ghost hunters. And with that, good luck out there.